Anyway, what I'd like to do is ask Ehara about that video face to face. Any chance we could see him again?
I was actually about to suggest that. One moment. It's from Ehara's prison.
What?
Hello? Yes, this is Shirosaki. Yes, I can talk.
His prison? Why would they call us directly?
Guess we'll find out.
Understood. I appreciate the candor. That was one of the prison wardens. He was asked to convey a message from Ehara.
About what?
In short, he won't be speaking with his representation any further.
You're joking.
To be more specific, he said he's not taking any more questions. It seems he fully grasps the situation, even in custody.
How is that even possible?
I'm guessing the murder footage that was uploaded yesterday was also planned out in advance. That or Ehara's conspirators have to be filling him in. How else could he predict we'd try to see him again so soon?
I can see either of those scenarios making sense.
But only someone on the force could be leaking insider information to him like that.
Damn. This shit's turning into a full-blown conspiracy, eh, Doc?
Whatever it is, it's screwing up our plans.
Yeah, the timing couldn't have been worse. Now what are we supposed to do?
Come on. There are plenty of leads that don't involve grilling the culprit.
Yeah? I'd like to hear 'em.
Well, if it were me, I'd start with Saori-kun.
Guilty.
Okay.
The first thing I want to learn is whether Ehara is really the murderer in this footage. Given the entire sexual battery incident as an alibi, there is no way he could have murdered Mikoshiba. However, this new footage knocks the bottom out of that premise.
Right. Either his alibi or the murder footage. One of the two's been fabricated.
Groping the murder right now, which one do we doubt more? I think it's Hoshino-kun. He's the mole. The groping incident was a setup. Because based off our, or they're both, I think they're both real. Me personally, I think they're both real. But the groping incident was a setup, we believe, because of all the cameras and how they planned it out.
Well, hold on. What if they're both real?
Oh,
This is probably the wrong answer. I don't really
his
care.
alibi and the video? In that case, let's start with the murder.
Oh, okay.
After committing the murder in Ijincho, Ehara would have had 13 minutes to make it to Ikebukuro Station.
Ijincho and Ikebukuro are roughly 30 kilometers apart. It's possible if he traveled 140 kilometers an hour.
Is it though? Ehara would have had to change out of his bloody clothes. So we probably ought to shave those 13 minutes down. On top of that, he was traveling during rush hour. It just doesn't seem feasible.
Okay, then let's rule that out. I'd say we're making some progress here, guys.
Boy, you're really reaching for that silver lining, aren't you?
Resurrection murder biggest issue, we have two conflicted counts. Just like, see, this thing is like they assume like they know the exact time. Like they weren't there watching them murder the guy. They don't know the exact time of when. They have an estimated window. But they're like, oh, it was actually like at 7:30, so he would have 13 minutes. Like, no, like you don't know when he actually got killed because you weren't there. You're making an assumption. And based off our investigation with the other guys, they said it could have been weeks compared to like when they found him. And the guy was in jail for 2 months, I think, prior to that too. So he had been decomposing for months, right? And like we don't know the exact time. He was like, oh yeah, this guy died at like 7:30. We know when he got kidnapped, right? But we don't know necessarily like that time after that. It could be another hour. It could be someone else. Could have got him really early.
I think we should revisit the harassment case. When the sentence came down in court, no one expected it to end up as a murder alibi. Plus, everyone suspected Ehara was working alone. He may have not been. All this makes a huge difference. No one would suspect a train groping to involve accomplices or alibis. The search for evidence wouldn't be as intense as for a murder.
But the entire incident was caught on camera, top to bottom. There's more than enough physical evidence, too.
Then we'll need to verify each and every aspect of the case.
Okay, what first? Should we investigate the crime scene again? Maybe we'll discover something new if we check out the station during the crime's actual time frame.
No, I think we saw everything we could there. Actually, if we're reviewing evidence, we could do that from right here, couldn't we?
What catches your eye specifically? I ask because fabricated evidence would likely show signs of tampering. This would prove Ehara's alibi doesn't hold up.
I really scrutinize this case. What evidence would falsify his alibi? The security footage of the Akihiro station at 7:45, a person who appears to be Ehara stands in one place. So yeah, he stands there for an hour. So he could have stood there for supposedly an hour, but there's blind spots where these cameras are too, so they could have they could have switched out. Someone could have just been dressed as him with a mask on. They go down to the area where the cameras can't see him, right? Because like if you look right here, there's a couple of blind spots. And so what if he switched out with the person at the train station wearing the same clothes for an hour, right? And then he got onto the train with the lady, and then that's when the crime happened. I also don't know how the whole fibers on his hand match. Like, I don't know how the fibers on your hands kind of do that, because it's not like your cat or something like that. It has like small grippers on your fingers. Let's say this one.
This
Probably
part's
wrong.
still getting to me.
The security footage from Ikebukuro Station shows Ehara arriving at the platform around 7:50 a.m. He just stood there for over an hour until boarding the 906 train.
He was looking for a target, right?
Yes, but Ehara says he was deliberating whether to go through with seeing his wife. After all, the two are separated.
Could there be any chance this is an Ehara imposter?
Huh?
Using the hat and shades to make it less obvious? Think about it. If Ehara had a double, he'd be free to murder Mikoshiba in Ijincho at 7:30. Then a few hours later, just past 9 o'clock, he swaps places with the stand-in and gropes the victim.
I actually considered that possibility, but there wasn't an opportunity for any sort of swap to occur.
None at all?
See, Ehara was caught on multiple security cameras standing right by the victim as they board the train, and the camera inside the train car continues this unbroken footage. At this point, Ehara gropes the victim, as proven by the trace elements detected. Then once the train arrives at Shinjuku, Ehara flees the scene, and is promptly tackled by passers-by once the victim calls for help. After that, he's brought into police custody, and eventually booked into jail.
I thought you had something there. A stand-in would have really fit the bill.
Right? Since we're pretty sure Ehara had accomplices, why not assume one could have been his stand-in?
As we discussed, there was no opportunity for any sort of person swapping to occur. The victim felt a hand reach up into her knee-length skirt, scaring her motionless for the full 6-minute ride to Shinjuku Station.
Could you describe the victim for me?
She's an office worker married to an industrial designer. Also has a 6-year-old son. Full name, Yui Mamiya, 30 years old.
A wife and mother.
Perhaps if we talk to Mamiya-san directly, she could give us more insight than that video. She may even recall something none of us know, upon learning Ehara's alibi might have been fabricated.
That's a good plan. We'll finally have a fresh source of info.
In that case, give me a moment so I can get a meeting set up. We should have her address and other information somewhere on file. Bear in mind, Mamiya-san was the victim here. As the assailant's defense, I doubt we'll get a warm welcome.
That's pretty standard for us, I'd say. Nobody rolls out the red carpet for a detective, right?
Yeah. Say, Kaito-san, it looks like we've got some free time, so I'd say we grab some food.
Now that you mention it, I am getting hungry.
Maybe that choice didn't matter, or I got the right one. We just moved on to the next explanation. What is Koda's last name? Ami Koda? Not related. There's that theory. Make progress said? No. You don't know anything. We were gonna talk to the victim. Dudes again?
You think they want something? Bet it's not a friendly hello.
They do look like they mean business.
This Arcade's idea of an ambush? How basic.
Kaito-san, there's more.
They love to squat.
Over there, too.
Same losers from yesterday. Guess they want to settle the score.
Oh, that guy.
Looks like they rounded up some buddies and waited for us to show.
Well, whatever the hell they want, let's not get Genda-sensei and them involved. Follow me.
Ida's feeling kind of sassy. Sassy boy. Was he feeling fabulous? I'm feeling sassy. Are they in the truck?
Alright, I'm getting fed up with this shit.
Squirrel!
Why haven't they made a move yet? It's like they're waiting for something.
Whatever it is, they're taking their sweet-ass time. Hey! Quit dicking around and come get some!
Yeah.
What the hell? They're just gonna keep stalking us?
Nope. Thanks for waiting, assholes.
Oh, shit!
Oh, you're welcome.
Let me
friggin-
guess. You're RK too?
Jimmy Buffett shirt going on.
Straight for our heads. Are you nuts, guy?
Shut
Yeah.
your mouth.
Trying to hurt me or something? You do love Hawaiian shirts. Well, that guy just got his butt kicked. Goodness gracious. Yeah, you guys like using breaths, huh? I thought. I'm fun when someone uses a bat against you. Kind of like Majima. Only 20
That's one down.
grand? Like 20 of them. Oh yeah, I'll walk away.
Not out of the woods just yet.
Bro. I thought they just like talk smack and stuff and they just walk away.
Damn. They really went all out on the backup. Is the whole town arcade now or something?
Doc, we should probably get gone before the cops roll in.
Why? It's not our fault we're getting jumped.
We need Kira to come clean up this town.
Guess their plan was to come at us in waves. I've about had it with this crap.
Yeah. At this rate, we won't be meeting Saori-san and the others. Wouldn't want to drag them into this.
Oh, look at all those bicycles.
Good point. So why not hit arcade at home?
Yeah?
Why not? Soma and Akutsu are at the top, and they probably remember me. I'll just ask them real nice to keep their goons off our back. Unless you want to keep dealing with these fucking scrubs.
I'm fine with making a house call. Any idea where it is?
Yeah, a club in the back of Theater Square. Used to be arcade exclusive. Nowadays, I hear they let in thugs from all over. I admit, I'm kind of curious.
Unlucky for them, there's a lot of bicycles right there, chat. Oh, come here, big boys. Come on, boy.
Oh, you morons.
They don't even know, chat. Oh. So many bicycles.
Really, guys?
Too easy.
Let's hit it.
Oh, Kaito finally did something.
And stay down.
Oh, that was good.
Let's roll, Tom.
Oh, there's more.
Why is this always happening to me?
Dude. Ridiculous.
Really, guys?
Have you had a Baka Matai moment? Not I. I'll take a picture of that squirrel before I forget. It was this way, right? Oh, where was that squirrel? Ow. backhanded that dude. Also, you got me wear skinny jeans. You can't change my mind.
And stay down.
It's kind of weird because it seems like the back of his jeans are skinny, but the front of his jeans are like slim fit. But today, rather than not so we're doing today. There was someone. I want to say there's someone weird at the gym yesterday, or someone was weird at the pool yesterday.
Suspicious.
Aren't you squirrel? Two guys were at the hot tub when I was running at the gym last night. And one of them, they both got out. And one decided to drop his drawers completely and change shorts. Oh, look at that steak.
Stuff pretty tasty. Thanks.
300 grams of steak. That's at least like 20 pounds. At least.
Ditching me?
Yes.
Oh, you morons.
I'm back. That steak looks wholesome. That was awkward? Yeah, it was awkward. And it was bad enough because one of them was parking in the handicap spot and the other one was parking in the loading area of the parking spot. They were both like my age.
Really, guys?
Which is even more annoying. Because like one of them parked at the actual handicap spot, but then between the two handicap spots, there's obviously like more room, like where you're supposed to be able to, you know, unload or load like a, you know, device or wheelchair or whatever. And so one of them parked in between the handicap spots where you're supposed to load, like, you know, whatever, a walker or wheelchair or whatever, right? Yeah, it's really annoying. I was like, what is that water sound? Yeah, I like gave him a swirly in a puddle.
And stay down.
Yeah, so it was really weird.
What is it?
And then they sat in their cars like for at least 15 minutes after they got out of the pool and then went into like the parking lot area. Really weird. It's kind of annoying, not just because they sat in their car for like 15 minutes, it was the fact that their lights were like shining inside the gym. Very weird. I know their age because I looked at them. It's not like they were like teenagers or like, you know, super elderly.
Pretty tasty. Thanks.
So basically, if you're like around my age, can I use this ball? I can't. What's up? Who are these random bowling balls in the middle of the street? I like how they stream bloody murder. I told them to move their freaking cars. Well, usually someone is like, there's one guy who's usually like, he lives right there and he'll call the towing company.
And
For whatever
stay
reason, he
down.
didn't do it last night. I think at least in Texas, I think it's like $1,000 fine if you're like in a handicapped spot. I could be wrong though. Maybe a city thing.
This is it, Talk. Get ready to meet some shady people.
Yeah, shady is definitely the operative word here. Can't imagine this place gets a lot of foot traffic.
Who knew an entrance to the underground was right here in broad daylight?
It does go
Alright,
down.
Let's get in there and be done with this.
But there's a sign that says don't go in.